Hey everybody, this is not the official opening of the video. This one's a lot different than ones I've done before. It is a cooking video, but I felt the need to kind of, I guess, preempt you a little bit. This video took me over a year to edit and put together and whatnot, and it's not that this is some grand opus or anything, it's just, we had a lot going on. I filmed this shortly after we came home from the hospital after my daughter was born. So you figure this was around mid-November, I think definitely before Thanksgiving of 2023, believe it or not. So yeah, hopefully you enjoy this. If it's your first time here, how you doing? Hit subscribe, all those fun YouTubey things. Thumbs up are always good. But enjoy the video. Sometimes it's hard to be a woman, giving all your... You sure about this? Hello? We're doing another cooking episode? What are we... Paradise pancakes. Are they any good? We're gonna have to find out. How did you get this number? This is an unlisted banana. Dial tone. Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It's your good buddy Philtastic Phil here. Welcome back to the channel. And we're doing another Cooking with Comics, just like I said in the introduction. And I'm making a dish from the official Wonderwoman cookbook for my wife. We're recovering, she's recovering, I should say, after giving birth to our second child. I am on leave from work. That's the second child now. I'm on leave from work, so I like to take advantage of this time just to do some extra nice things for my family, such as cooking, which I like doing anyway. I'm not gonna verbalize what I'm saying right now because my wife's in the next room and this is gonna be a surprise, but I'll print the name of what I'm doing at the bottom of the screen. And my little guy is being a trooper. He's sitting in his high chair across from me watching Miss Rachel, so you'll probably hear a little bit of that. So not only will you learn to cook, which is hopefully a good recipe, but you may learn your colors or your numbers today just by tuning in. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the ingredients and we'll get started. The ingredients for this recipe include 2 egg yolks, 5 tablespoons of packed light brown sugar divided, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 6 tablespoons of cake flour, 1/4 cup of whole milk, 5 egg whites, 1 teaspoon orange juice plus zest for garnish, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and unsalted butter for coating the pan and for serving. Okay, so in this first bowl, I've combined both egg yolks, the vanilla extract, baking powder, and brown sugar. It says to whisk this for about, just until well blended. My tripod, it was kind of leaning over when I tried to kind of hook it around, and the shot didn't look that great, so I can't whisk and hold the phone at the same time, so you're gonna have to use your imagination a little bit. Once we're done whisking those first 2 ingredients, this is what it's gonna look like. To this, we're gonna add 6 tablespoons of cake flour and 1/2 cup of whole milk. I just realized that my directions set on the cake flour says to omit salt and omit baking powder whenever you're using this. We already used the baking powder, so we're just flying with it. And you could use regular flour, by the way. The recipe does note you're just not gonna get them as fluffy or as pillowy as you would with cake flour. So these might be extra pillowy. I guess let's see what happens here.
Those aren't pillows.
I whisked all those ingredients together until there were no dry spots showing. And now we're gonna grab another bowl. The recipe calls for 1/4 teaspoon of orange juice. So I recommend just juicing up an orange. And whatever you don't use, hey look, you've got some nice refreshing, freshly squeezed juice. And who doesn't like that? So I'll surprise my wife with that in just a few minutes here. What I recommend doing, by the way, is using a strainer just to grab the pulp here. I'm Italian and I'm from North Jersey, but I don't like any pulp in my orange juice. Not even some pulp.
I like the one that says shampoo.
Sorry, Tony Soprano. In a separate bowl, combine the egg whites and orange juice using a hand mixer on medium-high speed. Whisk the mixture until the egg whites are foamy, about 4 minutes. Slowly add the salt and remaining brown sugar while continuing to whisk. Turn the speed to high and whisk until you get a glossy meringue with stiff peaks, about 6 minutes. It should look something like this once you're done. A couple quick words. One, I know you want to lick these. Don't, because it's not icing. It's pretty much raw egg and ingredient. It may taste a little sweet, but you'd probably wind up in the bathroom later on. Two, don't be like me and use a bowl that's a little too small, because you will get a bunch of meringue all over the place. And if you are like me and you did do that, make sure you clean it up before your wife sees it, because although you're doing something nice, making a mess will probably negate that. So clean up after yourself. You're not going to see me what I'm going to do while I'm doing this, rather. I'm going to fold my lovely looking meringue into our batter gently. So I will do that, and through the magic of the internet, you will see that taking a couple quick seconds, but probably take me a little bit longer. So quick little story about my wife as I'm mixing this. You're going to have to excuse me for not looking into the camera. Yeah, so as I said, you're folding the meringue into the batter until there are no more streaks, which for me might take a minute. So when my wife and I started dating, actually I shouldn't say when we started dating, we were a couple months into being a couple, we went to go see Batman versus Superman, which neither of us enjoyed. But one thing I think that we both enjoyed more than the movie was the when you went to the theater lobby, they had the stand-ups, and this was the one that you had Batman on one side and Superman on the other, and just in the middle, I guess, was the logo, coming whenever. And I put up a picture on my Instagram of my lovely wife in the middle, and I just put a little blurb. Oh, this is what they're fighting about. Like, Batman and Superman are fighting over my wife. And she enjoyed that. Although we didn't like the movie, one thing that we did agree on, I recall, was that Wonderwoman, Gal Gadot at that point, stole the show, especially just during that last fight scene. Even the music, I remember, do-do-do-do. I mean, you know the music. I don't have to embarrass myself further than I already have on this channel. But looks like I'm about mixed, so I'm going to get my skillet plugged in and grease it, and we will finally get to cooking.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem.
All right, so we may have a problem. One thing I noticed as I checked the time, I was saying to myself, why are they asking to measure out the amount of batter, and then why are they asking me to cover the actual batter while it's cooking? I typically don't measure when I'm making pancakes. I just like, oh, okay, that looks like a good size. So this is going to be more like those souffle pancakes. If you've seen any kind of Korean pancakes, you may be more familiar with, which I have not had any success in making, and I've tried a couple times. I'm not using a skillet. I'm using more of like a grill top, I guess you could say. So I don't have a formal cover, so I'm just kind of using a cover I would use for a pot. I hope I don't cause any issues doing that. I shouldn't. But we will give it a whirl, and this will be a slow process because a quarter batter isn't very much in my opinion. But we'll see. Quarter cup. I've flipped the cake for the first time. It looks pretty good, actually. Checking my time again. I had a quarter cup of batter. It wasn't clear when I said that. I mumbled. I do that. And the one thing that may be a little disconcerting is that it says I should have a oven warmed up. I kind of skipped that step. To keep this cake warm while the other ones cook. Now, my oven's not working. That's part of the reason that we're doing this too. So hopefully these don't collapse before my wife can enjoy them. But tune in, we'll see shortly. So my ring broke, so I'm abandoning the idea of measuring things out. I think I could still make it look good even with a broken ring, but we will see. To get around the oven issue, I've actually warmed up a plate in the microwave, and I figure as I finish them, I'll put them in the microwave. But what I may just do, since the ring broke, I'll see how this one here works out. The second one I'm making here, that is. And yeah, if it works out fine with the broken ring, I might just try to do multiples at once. But let's see. Hey everybody, hope you don't mind I'm interrupting myself. In case you didn't hear the news, the first ever comic I've drawn, both the cover and the interior, is coming out this April. The name of the comic is Condry, A Prayer for the Dying. It's an 8-page ash can that's perfect if you've never read a Condry book before, or if you're a big Condry fan. It's a good entry, I guess you could say, into the series. And more importantly, I think it tells a story that a lot of us men, especially fathers, can relate to. And again, that comes out in April, but if you go to legacycomics.com, that's comics with an X. I don't know who told Pat that that was a good idea, but it's comics with an X. Go ahead and pre-order your copy today. Hey, look, while you're there, Legacy has a lot of great other comics as well, including The Job, Dark Matches. This is actually the first cover I ever drew. I drew most of the cover. There were some other artists on this too. But the reason I want you to check this out, not because it's just a great kind of crime comic, but also every time a purchase is made, a donation is being made to Comics Curing Cancer. This came out last year, but as long as this book is in print, anytime a purchase is made, a portion of that profit, again, goes to Comics Curing Cancer. That and Condry Digital Edition number 4. So, look, go to Legacy Comics, again with an X.com, pick up some great comics, help fight cancer, and again, make sure you pre-order your copy of Condry, A Prayer for the Dying today. Back to the video. I did for this one now. I figured, let me do this. I'm going to abandon the idea of a quarter cup each. I kind of crudely repaired my cup. All I did was that one edge where they were loose, I just kind of cinched it together and threw enough in there to completely fill it, which is more than a quarter cup. Again, I want to eat, number one, and again, I'm a little scared about the state of my batter here. So we'll see how this one turns out. Okay, so I have the last of the cakes cooking. I just flipped it. I was a little concerned the other ones might not be cooked all the way, but I did a taste test on one of the, let's say, less prettier ones, and it's just the nature of how they look, because it's more of a souffle. It's kind of like a light, pillowy kind of sensation versus what we're used to. But I figure, look, I'm going to throw these on just a little bit longer regardless. I'll flip it around and show you what I mean here. Here, like I said, I flipped them. You could tell which ones I used a cup for, or the ring for, excuse me, and which I didn't. So I'm going to take these onto a plate, and we're going to decorate them next, or excuse me, not decorate, garnish them. Okay, so I'm ready to serve this. We're just waiting for my wife. She's putting our little girl back down to rest once again. You seem to feed her, she wakes up. I don't know what it is. But it says you could really put anything you want on this. My wife usually goes for honey. I prefer syrup. I just did an orange zest. I feel like it'll complement the flavor very well. I'm going to kind of encourage my wife to at least try it without any honey, just to see how sweet it is. And, well, when we come back, you'll see the final verdict. I didn't put anything on my little guys. He also had a lot of Cheerios to eat, so I only gave him a little bit. So we'll see how this goes. My wife had her first bite without honey. She ate the first one without honey. She's insisting on eating the second one with honey. What are your thoughts?
Different.
Different how?
Tastes like a mini cake.
Yeah, I mean, it's very sweet. It's kind of like a creamsicle.
Mm-hmm.
The orange is very prevalent.
Yeah, that's really tangy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice kind of a lighter taste. The consistency is different than what we're used to. I like it. The sweetness is a concern. I think I'm going to be really thirsty when I'm done.
It's not, I don't think it's overpowering when I say it's sweet. Like, it's sweet, but it's not like, oh my god, this is really sweet.
Do you prefer this to a regular pancake? This is called a Paradise Island pancake.
Maybe.
I mean, it's good. I don't know if it's worth the effort, though. I'll be honest with you. I didn't stop that much to film. Like, typically when I do these cooking videos, it does take a longer amount of time to cook. I didn't really stop that much to film. I tried to keep it rolling. And, I mean, a little bit interruption, like if you had to use the sink or something like that. It still took me about an hour and a half to get everything done. And a good portion of that was actually the cooking part, because they give you directions basically for one cake at a time. I mean, it's good. Is it worth the effort? And I should note this too. A lot of dishes to clean up. A lot of dishes, like more so than any other dish I've made. My wife was just looking at that and saying, it's going to get done. Just let's eat it first. I can tell you the little guy liked it. I gave him one. He wound up eating two. He took one of mine, and now he's enjoying some Cheerios. All right. So, NT, what is your rating? Do you like it? Did you like it? I think he liked it. Honey?
I liked it. I think it's an acquired taste.
Is it filling?
It's fluffy. I want to say it's filling because it's like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, like dense or just kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a spongy consistency. Yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to rip it open here. So it's not like what you would see with your typical pancake. I mean,
it's lighter for sure.
It's not something I think I would make again, just because, again, the amount of time it took, the amount of cleanup that's necessary. Do you believe that Wonderwoman eats these?
No.
I don't either. So, overall, if we were using the scale of, let's say, the best is hotcakes, middle, the middle is almost paradise, and terrible is Paradise Lost, how would you rate it?
I think it's good. It's not terrible. It's just, it's different than...
So you would rate it almost paradise?
Yeah.
So almost paradise, just like the song. What about you, buddy? He only wants to talk when we're not addressing him. But he had two. He really sucked them down, and now he's having fun with his Cheerios. Like I said, I mean, I think the actual paradise cake itself is good. Is it worth the effort? No, and it certainly... See, when I'm not talking to him, he lights up. I certainly, if you intend on making these, I certainly would not spring for, they were sent to buy a cake ring.
Yeah, no.
And instead I used foil, which wasn't, as effective, but I think it got the job done. Oh, well. Anything to add, honey?
Again, I thought it was pretty good, but would I be eager to want it again? Probably not.
And I would show you, by the way, The dishes I have to clean. But I know my wife wouldn't appreciate that, so we're going to skip that. That goes with the discussion that we had earlier when I was cleaning up the meringue. Buddy, anything you want to add? Nope. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Oh, for our
something here.
for our 1K giveaway, what should we do as far as the little teaser goes? Okay. How about this? 1K giveaway. Just comment with your favorite pancake. Is it a wheat cake? We have that recipe. You could go back and look at that. But no, don't do that. He likes to throw Cheerios off of his tray like he's a terrorist or something. Like, meet my demand or I throw the Cheerio. No, don't do it. Yeah, so just leave a comment with your favorite type of pancake. Is it a wheat cake? Is it a one made from like Jiffy corn? Is it a blueberry pancake? Is it something I don't even know? Yeah, I would say just don't invent something. Be honest. I'm just genuinely curious. Leave a comment and we'll get you an entry.